across the land and around the YouTubes.
Yeah, I forgot to tell everybody, it's 4 minutes, then the light, then another minute to wrap up. I put everybody in the public chat. I am going about 2 acts ahead most of the time, and I will sometimes, fuck around and interrupt people while they're on stage because that's my prerogative. And the last thing is you can't tell any jokes like the one that Chuck did just a minute ago.
Right. Puns are fun, and
we don't have any fun on this show.
Is in order. If it's a Monday night and you're tuned into YouTube and watching what is possibly the greatest open mic on the face of the earth or out in outer space, then you're correct. You tuned in to the Open Mic Comedy Show starring the one and only award-winning comedian and general jackass on a Monday night. Would you please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the funniest host with the most that we like to boast. It's Mike Langworthy. Take it off. Take it off. Woo-hoo-hoo. Take it off. Couldn't have done
Whatever
anything.
you're trying to do. Stop doing it and pay attention to me. Cesar Sauceda, which I believe is Portuguese for a salad of some kind, is trying to get into the show right now. So I thought I'd do that joke before I admit him. Anyway, welcome to the show. And yeah, maybe I do have a small penis. How is that your business, any of you? I always try to lead with something that's really just lets you know that the bar is not very high here.
All right. Welcome, Cesar. This is the Small Penis Admission Club. Your turn. Totally kidding. I was totally kidding. We just started. Back to Mike.
Comic? Make sure he's a comic before you start pulling that shit.
Pat me down.
He's not on the list. He's not on the list.
It's the only show where nobody ever goes long.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
It's true. Some comedians are pretty soft, I'll be honest with you.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Now you've
You
done
don't
it.
understand that a penis
This
can
means
become
war, Langworthy.
Oh, stick around for the uncut version.
yeah, we have all kinds of people.
I swear Mike is going to host the show.
I am hosting the show. I just do it my way.
Right.
I'm the Sinatra of
Right. Well, on behalf of the people watching on behalf of the people watching on YouTube, I'm just, trying to increase the pace to humor.
I tell you what, people on the YouTube, as everyone accuses me of saying, and the interweb and all the other things that indicate that I'm old, allegedly. Allegedly, look at me. I look like 4 miles of Ecuadorian road. But suddenly, everybody thinks I'm old. Anyway, welcome to the show. This is Open Mic, and we spell it M-I-K-E because Chuck produces the show, and he's just so goddamn funny. Because my name's Mike, even though it's a microphone. It's
See what I did there? See what I did there?
No, I don't think
See what I did?
you all understand.
It's like it's normally MIC, and what I did, I was like MIK.
Yeah, he does. It's incredible, and he's a big bag of M&Ms. Apparently, that's what he said. You got here a little early. You know where that's coming from. Anyway, we've got a great show lined up tonight, and first we're going to have about 12 comedians. And then it'll be all singing, dancing. It'll be like Hollywood in 1929 when they said, hey, what if we put some sound on these films so maybe somebody understands them? People are getting tired of spending a nickel, which, by the way, could buy a house in 1929.
What was it like then, Mike?
Weird and crazy. A great time. You know what? small penises were in 1929.
Ah,
That's how good my
not
life
very
was.
far though.
That's because they're small, right, Dad? That's what he's saying. I don't
That's
know
what
if
I
you all
hear.
understand that, but what we're trying to get at is that I have a tiny dick, and I don't usually open with the tiny dick material because first of all, nobody notices. Get it? Open with, and then nobody notices. All right, never mind. You know, I just keep saying "get it," as if anybody with a pulse.
As if somehow berating us will allow us to get it.
That always worked when I was doing comedy full time back in the olden days. I would tell a joke, it would get no laugh, and I would say, "Hey, by the way, if I say something and you don't understand it, I'm not the stupid one." And man, did that ever endear me to audiences? They loved that.
Is it okay if I call you
They
Dad?
loved that. Hey, $10 and a 2-drink minimum, so this guy can tell me I'm a moron. I could get that at home because I'm married. See, again, what I did is take it in a left turn, sort of. No, shut up.
Switcheroo.
Yep, the old sleight of hand.
What was it like to tour with the Glenn Miller Orchestra?
Oh.
I don't know. You'll have to ask my son. See, everybody wants to make fun of the old guy because my brain doesn't work anymore. Well, fuck you, man. I saw Hendrix live, so you can just blow me. All right. Anyway, this is probably the time where a wiser man would start the show. So,
Yeah.
as if the last 5 minutes haven't been incredibly entertaining all by themselves. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I have not put any names into the chat, so it's going to be a real surprise to see who's going to be the first act this time. Somebody who I made wait really long last time. I'm going to make wait a long time tonight too. No, I'm kidding. Our first act is coming to us from New York. He's been on a few times. I'm putting him on early because we're sort of in the same demographic, and he could nod off in the middle of his set if I put him on too late in the show. So please welcome Bruce Lipsky, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce,
Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Thank you.
Yay!
I appreciate that.
you're welcome.
I thought because I was part of the Small Penis Club, I didn't know for sure.
Well, the pictures you sent weren't to scale, so I didn't really know.
Oh, thank you. But you're right. We were about the same age, give or take 20 years or so. But let me just tell you, back in the day when I was in high school, remember those days, Mike? Back in the 1970s, Bayside High, New York City, public school.
Yeah.
We had swim class. That was part of our requirement for passing gym. But our swim class, we had to swim naked. The first day I got to class, I asked the teacher, "What's going on over here?" And he said, "Sorry, sir, your birthday suit's going to become your bathing suit today." And I said, "What do you mean? It just told me to bring a towel. I thought I'm getting a bathing suit." He said, "Speedo, how about Speed No?"
Yeah.
But thankfully, woodshop wasn't run that way. Imagine, stay away from the lathe, not too close, you know. Imagine being 14 years old, having to do Fort Skinny dipping in front of all your classmates. But back then, I barely had eyebrows. During the class, we used to play water polo, and the teacher would yell, "Protect your nets, protect your nets." And I'd be off in the corner of the pool saying, "The hell with that, I'm trying to protect my nuts."
Yeah.
But the good news is that I became a great one-handed swimmer, and in competitions, I always held my own. But more importantly, though, it was really a good thing with the ladies. I got a lot of confidence, especially once I learned the breaststroke behind the bleachers with Mary Lou Zabrinsky.
Yellow.
She was hot. You know, fast forward, I'm turning 65 in a couple of weeks here. Shit, I looked in the mirror. I look like an old rusted out Buick. This body is shot. Nothing could be buffed out. My rear end's making funny sounds. My hoses are leaking, and my ball joints have all dried up. I said, "Uh-oh, I better get Mako." Mako says, "Oh no, you better get Medicare." And when I was, think about it, when it used to be in my house, if I had a leak, I'd call my plumber. Now I'd call my urologist, and he's $50 cheaper.
Yeah.
Jessica, it's Friday night now. Boyfriend says, let's go dancing. Get on the floor, you can bust the move. I can't take my wife dancing. I'm afraid I may bust her hip. And I'm starting to forget things. I swear my phone mattress has a better memory than I do. And I'm at the stage in life now where I change the batteries on my nose hair trimmer more than I do on my TV remote. And my friend said, Bruce, you turned 65, you're retired a few years, you're lucky. You can do a lot of traveling. Yeah, Mondays I'm going to the orthopedist. Wednesday to the neurologist. And Thursdays I'm filling prescriptions at CVS. It's awful, I'm telling you. And when you get older, sometimes you feel people are taking advantage of you. I had my vehicle at my mechanic the other day for some service. He handed me an itemized bill. Oil change. 4-wheel tire rotation. Brakes adjusted. I said, this is wrong. He said, why? I said, I drive a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm getting older. I got to stay in shape. So I'm getting into exercise. But I exercise only very late at night, between the hours of 3 and 5 in the morning. I run sprints from my bedroom to the bathroom. My wife calls it my Usain Bolt to the bathroom. Thankfully, I wear track shoes and cleats and tracksuit and all those other things. And I have a little medal also. I got my time down under 6 seconds. Trouble is, I can only hold my pee for 4.2.
That's unfortunate.
And my wife is a fitness nut. She takes boat yoga. Loves it. Finds it very therapeutic and relaxing, especially when a goat jumps on her back and licks her ears. I said, wait a second. How come I tried that last week? You slapped me and threw me out of the bedroom, and now you're paying a goat to do it. She said, well, he's got great technique and fresh breath.
Oh,
I said to her, do they allow kids in the class? She says, no, they only use adult goats. But she's a nut. She's got into this Amazon stuff nonstop. The boxes are piled this high. I feel every day I'm playing a game of Jenga for Giants. Constantly going from the porch to the bedroom, back and forth. I'm like her delivery monkey, her Amazon primate. I think she's having an affair with the UPS guy. She's constantly going on and on bragging about how big its package is. And now she's only requesting backdoor delivery.
hey.
What Brown's doing for her, but what's he doing for me? And now she's into fantasy role play. She has me dress up in brown shorts, construction boots, and carry a clipboard. Anytime I want to have sex, I got to sign for it. This is making my family life miserable. The only smiles in my house now are the ones in the boxes. We love doing things together. Broadway shows, nice dinners, the UPS guy. Thanks, that's my time.
There you go, Bruce Lipsky.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I've already put it in the chat, Bruce, but Amazon Primate, out of here. That's gone. That's gone. Also, I went to a Jewish high school, and we had to go foreskinny dipping. So, just so you know, it was a whole thing, is what I'm saying.
Never again.
No, 6 million reasons. Anyway, let's not even get into that. Our next performer is someone I met a few weeks ago, I think on this mic, and then since then she's done another show that Chuck and I co-host called The Apocalypse Show, which is on at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, Zoom show every Sunday night. And I hope that you guys are going to love her. We got a lot of comics tonight, so I'm going to try and keep it rolling. And her name is Christine Olivas. Please give her a great round of applause.
Yay.
Yeah.
2 nights in a row. What a pleasure. Great to see you again. So I tried this one last night. Let's try it again. Whoever said blood was thicker than water must have been a huge fan of period sex. right, not bad. I'm just saying. I'm being honest about this though. Forget water-based lube. Try like shedded uterine lining lube. Just saying. I do actually love period sex for the record. It's the only great thing you can get out of that time of the month. But I don't actually believe the expression when it comes to family. As some of you may know, my father is a fundamentalist Baptist minister. As an atheist, he's really cramping my style. And ministers' daughters have a lot of stereotypes. I'm sure you've heard a few, but I don't think they're entirely fair, to be honest. It's actually a ton of pressure. In a lot of ways, I think being a minister's daughter is a bit like being the daughter of Trump. Hateful people see him as a hero. He incites violence with his words. And people are completely convinced that our mothers are in prison against their wills. The only difference, though, honestly, I think the only difference is that we know Trump loves to grab pussies. My father, though, he's a godly man. He does not like to grab pussies. He just likes to round all the vaginas up and send them to hell so he doesn't get tempted. Build a wall, keep those dirty vulvas out. I'm just saying. I have been divorced twice. My first husband was gay. My second, that always gets a little from the crowd. Yeah, my first husband was gay. My second husband was a narcoleptic. So they both fucked me in the dark with their eyes closed. The gay husband was a wonderful person. We were actually still great friends. We still text, we keep in touch, should have always stayed that way. But the narcoleptic was a horrible person, like horrible, super manipulative, loved to withhold sex. Like that was his thing, like that was his punishment. And he'd always choose porn over having sex with me. And one time I confronted him when he was literally in the bathroom with the door closed, like laptop open, and I'm like crying, and I'm like, Justin, I'm like, why don't you ever include me? He flips the laptop around, he goes, I do include you, look. And there I find a scene of a woman having anal sex with my face cropped out above hers. And I looked at him like, this is pretty inaccurate, you know. I've never had one full dick in my ass, let alone 4. Also, why did you choose the picture of me from our wedding day? Okay.
Oh, man.
The veil's a nice touch. And he's like, Christine, that's the happiest you've ever looked. And now that I think about it, I mean, I've thought about this quite a bit. I think the Bible and porn have a lot in common. I mean, think about it. Yes, Mike?
In what way, Christine? Sorry. I was trying to be a straight man, but I'm not good at it.
Tonight you'll be played by the role of no. I mean, look, they're both entertainment, inspirational stories, but a lot of dudes from the middle of the country take that shit as literal truth. What I'm saying is that believing that someone can face eternal damnation for like pocketing a belly ring set from Claire's is absolutely insane. But you know what else is insane? Pointlessly finger banging me for 20 seconds and thinking I'll come. Yeah, I got a lot of bad sex education growing up, as you can imagine. Another thing that happened to me, speaking of periods, my mom told me at one point that a vagina is something that women have. Things can come out of it, but you can't put anything in it. Think about that for a second. Imagine when I get my first period and she hands me a tampon. Later that day, I'm walking around the house. I'm homeschooled, right? So I'm just like the pandemic. I have nowhere to go. I'm walking around the house. I look down. I see blood running down my legs. Things can come out of it. You can't put anything in it. I took the tampon out of the wrapper and I stuck it between my labia like a hot dog between butts.
Ooh.
Doesn't work. I feel like 1 or 2 men are still trying to figure out the mechanics on the call. You're supposed to put it inside is the point. That was my timer. I will end on that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
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 I'm sorry, I have to say one more thing. I won't reveal the identity, but one person said they also did that in a private chat. So I'm not the only one.
Absolutely
It
me.
was me.
Boy, you know you're in a room full of comics when with people volunteering to be that guy, and they're all fucking, half of them are men. Anyway.
At least one was gay.
Wait.
Perhaps use a timer on the removal of those devices from yourself.
That's another joke.
No, you can't, Chuck.
That was toxic shocking.
Yeah, don't weigh in on this, Chuck. You're not called. Every time he ever used a tampon, he shoved one up his ass when it was full of vodka to try and.
Whoa.
I'm just saying, man.
I know.
Works. No, you don't know. What I'm trying to say is I'm just saying.
Mike, I use them to feed the hamster.
Oh. Really? Geez, I can't, I just want to go to the worst possible place when you say something like that. You really can't tempt me like that. I can make Christina Olivas look like the Queen of Sheba, man. Most classy dame in the world. So, no, not that you aren't classy, Christine.
No.
I mean, I like.
And loves being called a dame.
It's the nicest thing
a member of the nobility. Sorry.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Because I need your judgment, Ned. I do.
I win again.
Yeah, no, do you really? Because I would be devastated right now if I gave one shit what you thought.
But I have no understanding of things.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm not bright.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, sorry the thing last Wednesday didn't work for you. Anyway, I'm going to be moving on to the next performer, whose name is Evan Smith. Please welcome him. And I'm not going to...
Evan Smith.
Yeah. Hey. Thank you.
All night, by the way. I'm just saying.
Well, happy January. I've been trying to drink less this month, and I feel like a lot of people have been doing that. That's what I've been seeing on social media, and it's had its benefits. Makes you healthier, saves you money, and it's a good excuse not to have to socialize with people. But a weird phenomenon is going on, though. I stopped drinking, and a few days later, I still felt a little tired, still felt a little groggy. And then a few more days went by, and I still felt tired, still felt groggy. And then a few more days went by, and I was like, oh, this is just how I am. I might need to look into this. The last 2 weeks of December, I had a staycation, and it was glorious. I sat on my couch and I did nothing for 2 weeks straight. And everyone was saying you shouldn't travel home to your family. So I didn't travel home to my family. And when they asked why, they asked, is it because of spreading the virus or, travel restrictions? And I had to be honest with them. I had to catch up on The Bachelorette. I was falling behind. We did Zoom over Christmas with our family, so we sent presents to them. They sent presents to us. And it's the first time in a while I've really believed in Santa, because my parents sent our gifts through the United States Postal Service. And I knew that if there were presents under the tree on Christmas morning, it was going to be a Christmas miracle. My older brother is getting married this year. I'm very excited for him. I got married last year, and we don't need to go into the politics of that. But as I've talked about here a few times, we'd planned a whole wedding, and then we had to change everything because of COVID. And now my future sister-in-law is saying to us, how could I ever plan a wedding during COVID? And I have some tips. It's only from my own experience, but I think it can help. Tip number 1, invite everyone you know, and then uninvite 90% of them 1 month before the wedding. Tip number 2, pay the caterer in full up front, and then be very polite when you ask for your money back. And tip number 3, just don't. Don't get married during COVID. It's a bad idea. That's the best thing you can do. My brother asked me to be in the wedding party, and I was very honored. And I asked who else was going to be the wedding party, and he said nobody. And I was like, oh my gosh, does that mean I'm best man? And I get those responsibilities. I get to give the speech and plan the bachelor party. And he said, no, it just means you're the only man. And so I think he's still mad I didn't make him best man at my wedding. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Evan Smith, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's rare that you get an introvert on a stand-up comedy show. They tend to be a little more out there as a general. I don't care, Chuck. If I don't want to put my video on, I'm not going to.
Okay.
My son's a hell of a lot better looking than I am.
Right.
Okay.
It's
Good.
hard to.
Now, Mr. Stay Off My Lawn is here.
Right.
All right. Sorry, I got a little hot. I apologize. Chuck, you do a great job of producing the show. I really appreciate you trying to keep it on the down low that I was fucking up my video. And yet I still feel compelled to act bitterly and mean towards you. It's just a problem that I have. Hey, I hope all the rest of you are here.
We're going to increase the number of brand muffins and craft services, so that should solve it.
That should move things along.
Should it really? What if you don't have a problem in that area?
Good one, Mike.
Well,
I have a prolapsed small intestine.
we're also going to cut down.
Anyway, I'm going
Everything about you is small. Come on.
Shut up. Bring me on our next performer. What I'm trying to do is bring on our next performer who's going to be wonderful and you'll love him. Please welcome Bronco Brad.
Thank you so much. Well, that Mike, he sure is a nice guy, isn't he? Yes. I'm gonna name my next horse Mike. You better believe it, sure. Hey, boys and girls, it's time again for the Bronco Brad Dang Tootin' Good Time Show. Are you ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the kind of excitement I like. Well, it's time for the Bronco Brad Dang Tootin' Good Time Show for every Bobby, Joe, and Jerry, and Bob. I hope that you all have a good time, or else I'll lose my job. Well, boys and girls, let's get started. Now, remember, I've got a new sponsor for 2021. Just want to let you know. Hey, Mom and Dad, next time your kids don't feel like eating vegetables, pick up a package of Supremo candied broccoli and spinach. It is sure darn good. Your kids are going to love it, I guarantee it. You can find it at the supermarket right on low next to the potato chips and the crackers. Supremo candied broccoli and spinach. Sure is darn good, yes. Okay, well, now it's time for a song, though. When you have that candied veggies, you got to be sure to take care of your teeth. And here's a little song to help you along. Well, you know I'm not the boss, but every day you have to floss. You may like lots of fun, but you won't like bleeding gums. Oh, keep the tartars in Russia, but teeth tartar is a disgrace. You may not like what I'm telling you, but why get all up in my face? So use lots of dental floss after having a treat. You won't get periodontal disease and your teeth won't fall out into the street. All right. Well, let me just cool off my guitar here, boys and girls.
That's some axe.
Yeah, sure do. Hey, boys and girls, it's time once again for my little buddy Wally, the happy talking neutrino. Hi, Wally.
Yay.
Hey, okay, Wally, don't get too excited. Hey, Wally, It's time now to tell our boys and girls who are in the Bronco Bred Deputy Sheriff Club the secret message of the night. Are you ready, boys and girls? Okay, go ahead, Wally. Give them the secret message. Okay. Okay, boys and girls, you can just write down that Morse code on a pen and paper. Sure, writing you the secret message. Okay, thank you, Bronco Brad. Okay, hey, Wally and I want to do a special song for you tonight, boys and girls. Yeah, you know, we always like the little boys and girls on our show, but there's some big boys and girls too. You know, sometimes I like to ride off, sometimes to visit my friends in the Indian Nation, and sometimes I like to visit my friends in the Hip Hop Nation. Here's a little one that I'd like to do for you from my special friends at Cypress Hill. Okay, well, it's all over when I go out drinking, making my mind slow. That's why I don't mess with the big 4-0. Bro, I got to maintain, cause a cowboy like me is going insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. In the membrane. Insane in the brain. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Oh, I got no brain. Gone insane. Okay, all right. Well, now we got one more thing to do before we go. Okay, Bronco Brad. All right, now, hey kids, a brand new contest that's really fun to do, a really fun game. And you can do it, especially if you're at the supermarket and mom and dad won't buy you what you want. It's called Let's How Long We Can See How Much We Can Hold Our Breath. Are you ready, boys and girls? Okay, here we go. Okay, well, okay. Well, I think we held our breath long enough, didn't we? Yeah. Okay, and that's all we have for the Bronco Bred Good Time Show tonight. Till next time, good night, cowpokes.
Yeah.
Bronco Brad. Bronco Brad, everybody.
That was breathtaking.
Hold up there. Wow. Okay, you know what? Another round of applause for Bronco Brad. Really. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could send him a 20-pound bag of oats for his horse, if you will. Does he? You don't want him to lose. I'm not. You know what? I keep wanting to say something clever, and he floors me every time, so I'm not ready.
I keep wanting you to say something clever.
Do you, Chuck? Really?
That was sort of the idea, Mike.
Yeah, I was trying to get there myself, and I guess I'm just not good enough, as Chuck's been telling me every week since we started. But thanks for making it public, because I was starting to have a little self-esteem, and thank God I dodged that bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Our next performer, by the way, and way to call me out right before I bring in someone that I haven't seen before. I do appreciate it, because if I felt confident or something, I might give her a nice introduction that she'll want to come back again. But
Mike, do you do kids' parties?
Not since my partner, John Wayne Gacy, went into prison.
Oh, no.
Anyway, our next performer, don't fuck with me, man. I don't care. Fuck the comic up.
Where do you think he gets his drugs?
The dumpster out back behind the hospital, dumping out COVID stuff. Anyway, let's not even get into that. Let's bring this next performer on. Who I don't know anything about Dani, and you guys have usurped all the time I was going to use to find out who she is. So she'll tell her story her own way. And I wanted very much to be supportive, Dani. My creative partners wouldn't let me, so I apologize in advance to you. Dani Riedel. Dani Riedel, ladies.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mike. Glad to be here.
My birdie, by the way.
Listen, last week, watching Mike Pence stab Donald Trump in the back is the closest that Mike Pence will ever get to making a woman come. I needed to smile because I am an alcoholic and I have been sober this whole damn time. Actually, I've been sober for since August of 2019. So what's that? 2.5 years? Sobriety time in 2020 earns double points.
It's 2.5 years then, for sure.
It's 2.5 years, but I don't like the term recovering alcoholic. I prefer the more flattering term inactive lush. Not been easy. AA meetings help. That's what I call putting fresh batteries in my vibrator.
Hello.
Oh.
And I do love about being quarantined, getting to watch everyone else finally discover the joys of day drinking while homeschooling their kids.
Ooh.
You can stop judging me for it now. The worst thing I ever did while day drunk was feed my cat extra food and write erotic Star Trek fan fiction. So, what's that about throwing stones, you guys?
Glass houses.
But okay, you know who else? While I'm on this, you know who else was an alcoholic? Literally every Disney princess. Think about it. So you have, except maybe Ariel. Ariel is the only one who had like a quasi-normal childhood, and the rest of them, you just watch and you're like, which princess is going to have which PTSD symptom when she's in her 30s? But the Little Mermaid had her own issue, like right from the get-go. Remember, she was a hoarder?
Yes.
And she had this undersea cave full of all the garbage she collected that reminded her of the guy she had a crush on, and she sang songs about it. I think that this problem actually got worse when she became human and married him, because think about this. The Little Mermaid has legs now, which means she gets all of the bonuses that come with that. And there is no way she doesn't have a room somewhere in Prince Eric's castle where she's just hoarding her vibrators. And still singing about it, of course. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Eric thinks this one massages my feet. I've got rabbits and dildos aplenty. I've got bullets and rockets galore. You want Hitachi wands? I've got 20. But like poor Cinderella though, like, man, she didn't need a fairy godmother and a husband. She needed child protective services. And Snow White, like, what do you do when your freaking stepmother resorts to murder for hire? She is somewhere in her 30s, like cutting herself, crying out for parental approval, and just shit-faced on Angry Orchard.
Yeah.
And which reminds me of me when I tried to quit drinking. I woke up one day and made myself a Kentucky coffee, which is my favorite morning beverage. If you've never had one, the recipe is simple. It's a bottle of Maker's Mark with a bendy straw in it. And my liver actually yelled at me and was like, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. You know I have a day job, right? Like, livers don't just process alcohol. I have a wife and kidneys to support. And I don't have all day to metabolize your fucking breakfast whiskey. But of course it did, because my liver is a total badass, and I'm pretty sure it's the reincarnation of the liver of Winston Churchill. But
Nice.
Good. You don't just laugh, you learn at the open mic.
But in all seriousness, the world is so screwed up. Let's just all really try to be good to one another. I, for example, did my part to help someone suffering in this country by sending Melania Trump a vibrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me here tonight. I'm Dani Riedel.
Dani, you're very well. She's never needed that more than she has in the last week, Dani.
It's already causing quite a buzz in Washington.
I love Dani. We've got the best non-drinking alcoholic comics on the open mic. And you just added yourself to a list of really funny people who are funny about not drinking anymore. So anyway, hope you come back.
Yay.
Next, thanks, Chuck. That's how Chuck shows support. He shits all over me right before an act comes over, and then he goes,
I thought you were being nice. You invited the young lady back, and I seconded that.
When have I been nice? I'm sorry, Dani. Anyway, please come back. I mean, not if you don't want to, but
thank you.
You're welcome, is what I'm trying to say. See, you push me in a corner. I'm like a rat cornered, and you're chasing me with a broom. Be nice, Mike. Be nice. I don't know how to be nice. Sorry. Got hot with you.
Are we roasting Chuck tonight, or what's going on?
Mondays at 8, weekly Chuck roast.
Yeah. This meet in Denver, which, by the way, is his porn name.
Hello. Hello.
But be that as it may, Matt did a great job, and I want another round of applause because I don't want my beef with
Yeah.
get in the way of enjoying her comment. I'm so glad she came. And by the way, that's how it's done. You know, make a fucking effort. Get a mic stand and a mic. It's the pandemic. Spend a couple of bucks, you cheap.
And some cat pictures.
Thanks, because you stepped on the punchline. It wasn't going to be funny, and now I can blame you.
Oh.
Okay. Our next performer is C. Glenn Williams, which I believe was the first line of the first book I had in the Tom and Jerry series. Be that as it may.
C. Glenn Williams. Williams,
Yes.
Glenn Williams.
Glenn Williams. See them tell jokes. See audiences laugh. Clap for Glenn Williams. Spot is lifting his leg right next to Glenn Williams.
Oh, no.
All right, clap. Let's have it. See Glenn Williams.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am C. Glenn Williams, as Mike just told all of you wonderful people. I am what they refer to as an elder millennial. That means I was born right at the beginning of the millennial generation. So if you're wondering what the oldest millennial could possibly look like, it's me. And that means that I have spent most of my life being mistaken for Generation X and catching all of the crap people threw at Generation X. And now Generation X has aged out of that. They're no longer young enough to be the problem anymore. So of course, people have now realized that I am a millennial, and my life has been nothing but sunshine and compliments ever since. But I being a millennial, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I was also a what was the term? A geek. I was a geek back then. That's not a term you hear too much these days because geek is now stylish. All of the movies are geek movies, all the superhero movies and comic book movies that you used to get made fun of for reading comic books in the 90s. Now they're the best-selling movies ever. And unlike a lot of my fellow millennial geeks, I am not upset by this because it's like I could not be happier that more people out there have discovered Iron Man, because we couldn't get a $90 million Iron Man movie made. It took the rest of the world suddenly being interested. So I am not bitter about that at all. I have a list of more geeky stuff that you guys can check out if you want. I will be perfectly happy to share with you. I have wanted an ElfQuest movie since 1987. Let's make this happen, people. I have been rewatching a lot of the Marvel movies, and I realized that pandemic, rewatching all the Marvel movies, and I realized that there is an abundance of half-naked blonde guys named Chris in the Marvel universe. It feels a lot like going back to my old drama department, really, in that way. But you know, being an elder millennial, I'm at an age where a lot of my friends have kids now. The first time I realized that one of my friends I came up through high school with had a high schooler herself freaked me out, and it still freaks me out. But a lot of them get very concerned over what's on the radio now because, well, what's on the radio? What's on their kid's iPod? I have to relearn every word in the world because they're like, oh, the music gets so graphic these days. And I'm just like, I consider it truth in advertising finally. Because I grew up listening to my parents' music and I heard Tom Jones sing What's New Pussycat over and over again. And I still to this day have no clue what it's like to spend an evening with Tom Jones. It's like you listen to What's New Pussycat, that could be anything between let's sit on the couch and hold hands respectfully all the way to welcome to Master Jones's sex dungeon. Please wipe down the equipment when you are finished. But I listen to, WAP and I know what an evening with Megan Thee Stallion is going to be like. It sounds like lots of fun. There's going to be a pot of macaroni. I am way into pots of macaroni. That sounds great. The thing is, I'm a 40-year-old straight man who loves pop music. And it's just, that's not supposed to happen. 40-year-old straight guys are not supposed to have as many opinions about Ariana Grande as I have. 40-year-old straight men are supposed to have exactly one opinion of Ariana Grande. Nice tush. Instead, I find myself saying things like, nice tush. And Sweetener didn't slap as hard as we would have liked, but have you heard Positions? That's really Ariana Grande back at the top of her game.
Jesus.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, guys. That's my time. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Len, I'm glad you're sitting down because I have something very important to tell you about yourself.
Okay.
You got to say wear a mask at the end of that dungeon bit.
Well, they're really hardcore in that dungeon. You're not allowed to wear a mask.
But they wash hands though, right?
Well, occasionally.
Well, if you ask nicely.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, sorry. Again, you have no idea. I go down a road, and there's filth, and then there's goddamn filth, and then there's, my parents told me my dad's a pastor, and I never got over it, filth. And then past that is where I go every single time these things happens. Anyway, let's not get into that, shall we? Shall we not? The next performer, if I'm reading my own list right, it's Denise, right? Yeah, Denise Winkelman. Who's been here a bunch of times. I know you're gonna love her. Yeah, maybe even a creepy way. No, shut up! I didn't even say that. Who cares? I just have a great deal of respect for a comedian who's funny and works at her craft. God, you guys, stop it.
That is kind of hot.
Pardon me?
That is kind of hot.
Yeah, thanks, Ned. Appreciate that. I had a little momentum going. I really appreciate you cutting that. I do, really. Please welcome, if you will, Denise. I'm waiting. Winkelman.
Yeah. That's like the longest intro ever.
Give it time.
At least his intros are long.
The more I like you, the longer the intro.
Perfect. That went longer than any dude I've ever dated. So.
Mike, is there any way you can build on the previous intro?
Mike's never going to put me up again. He was just like, sorry.
No, I'll put you up. It's fine. I don't care if you don't like my intros.
I'm just teasing.
Oh, I do. Denise, I haven't even started the timer. That's how much I respect your ability to spritz on me. Okay.
A lot of guys.
Not now.
So thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. I did a brunch comedy show this weekend, and it's the first time I've ever done brunch comedy, and it just made me realize how much I miss drinking with my girls. And all my friends have really cool alter egos when they drink. After a box of wine, my friend Shauna becomes a sassy Southern Spitfire named Brenda. Shauna's a liberal snowflake. Brenda is stereotypical Southern. Like she has a smoker's cough, like, hiya. And Brenda would offend every single person in the South. Like, that ain't us. Let's cancel her. Except if you're in Florida. Those guys would love her. Sounds like a hell of a gal. I'd like to meet her. Sounds like every neighbor I got. And Brenda would love that. Like, she'd be like, I need to stop by the farm and pick up some shine. Shauna's never even been south of Utah. She'd be like, who's this bitch Shauna? I don't like her. She wears these fancy duds. Brenda would lead the riot at the Capitol. Like, hey, we gotta stop by the Walmart and pick up a nice little rebel flag. I lost mine. So here's what happened. I wrote this bit like literally 20 minutes before, like I wrote this, and apparently it didn't go well. Apparently we don't like it, so it probably needs a little bit of work. So, but here's the thing. My alter ego when I drink is the Wink. And the Wink is exactly who The Rock used to be back when he was cool. Back when if you looked at his weird eyebrow wrong, he would fuck your grandma. That's a grandma loving son of a gun. That's me. Normally, I like to go to bed at 9 o'clock after I watch NCIS. And the Wink loves to stay out all night, tell a bartender he fucked up her shot, then threaten to get him fired unless he lets her lick his tummy while his girlfriend eats her out.
Oh.
Wow. I know you all think I'm kidding, but it happened twice the week before the pandemic started. I don't even know where to go from there, but I'm going to end it there. But like in my, so we like The Rock, we don't like Brenda. We're going to rework it a little bit, and I appreciate it.
All right. Hey, thanks. Big round of applause for Denise.
Yeah.
Denise, it's not that we don't like it. We just hate Brenda.
That's an honor.
I'm thinking that I'd hate that. Yeah, I'd hate that too. Yeah, I'd hate that. And I'd kill her if we found her in the rotunda.
Well, Brenda loves Mitch McConnell. Like, she has a huge crush.
Oh, yeah. I just put this in an email to a friend yesterday, but am I the only one who's noticed that Mitch McConnell is actually a painted turtle sticking his head through a man's suit?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he looks like
he's a tortoise.
Perhaps, but he just looks like a painted. He looks like one of those ones that you'd see in a terrarium at a pet store back in the days when they didn't give a shit at all about the animals.
That's why he's against. That's why he's against tortoise reform.
Oh shit!
Wow, Chuck.
Wow.
Chuck, this is what you can get away with when you're the guy who produces the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Against tortoise reform. Wow. He's just a shell of himself, comedy wise.
That's about my speed.
Chuck, hate to snap at you, but
oh shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm boxing him in now. Anyway, these are all tortoise references. Our next performer is another guy. You know, I think I know you, Cesar. Have you done a show before? Or have I just been in the office recently? Because they put pictures. God, you guys. All right. Anyway, welcome to another person who's new to the show, Cesar Sauceda. Did you look how panic-stricken he was when I said I've seen you? Oh my God! The warrant is public.
Mike, Chuck, stop fighting. You sound like my two gay dads, in the living room, conversation. If I had any.
Oh, are you saying there's something wrong with that?
No. Look, here's something I hate really much with a passion. I hate weird names. Like, my friend introduced me to a kid named Yannick. Like, Yannick. I mean, couldn't a parent just rearrange it, have some time, work on its craft to make it look like, I don't know, Dominic? Dominic's a nice name, but, and then there's the Queenan. Queenan, I think that's a name I heard in middle school, but usually the bullies would yell that off to me and then put a queer at I don't know. Anyways, the only acceptable part of having a weird name is if it's foreign. Foreign names I can get down on. Capicio, I wouldn't even question that at all. If there's a kid with an accent named Capicio walks against me and tells me something, I'll be like, yeah, Capicio sounds normal. Like Dusky, I'm gonna drop a Dusky. That sounds like my friend Al. I don't know, from the neighborhood. Dude. I take public transportation, and in that places there's people that are junkies, and I love talking to them, man. It's like therapy in a way, I can just be talking about my life. They wouldn't understand it. I'll be like, God, I don't even know how my friend can do that to me. It's just, I just want to, and then he'll be yelling and then I'll be like, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Thanks. Capacio, and then he'll be like, yeah, and then I'll be like, okay. Yeah, no, and then I don't know, there's something about it, even junkies, man. I really love when people sell drugs to high schools. I don't do it. I just think that it's it's something they can do in their business, but however, I think I can help them in the way, we need names that really hit home with the kids. We'll start off small and then end up big with the harder drugs. First, I think we're going to start off with Whiny Sister. That's psychedelic stuff right there. Whiny Sister. Second, It's Not a Phase Mom. Not a Phase Mom. It sounds broad, but okay, we'll just leave it there. And then the hard part, the hard ones. Daddy's Belt. Daddy's Belt might strike fear to some kids, and that's hard cocaine right there. Hard cocaine.
I'll buy an ounce of that right now.
Mike has issues.
I would. Well, don't we all? So, and then I love when I was a child and we would build forts, especially when we're hiding from our parents. That was awesome times, whenever I go down into a bridge and I see some homeless guy underneath it, I'll be like, hey, I really like the work there. I like the craftsmanship. How much would you pay for it? I was like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, nothing. My fort, the pill actually collapsed, so I have to rebuild it. You know how it is, right? I mean, it's guys, I want to say something. I go on a lot of walks and I really like old music, but something about it is that the people who write the music and then sing it are pretty bad people, I've been listening to a song from Frank Sinatra, and he'll be like, the record shows she took the blows. I mean, if history changed itself a little bit, I would just say maybe those beats were as good as the ones they gave to their wives, And then Don McLean, I love Don McLean, but dude, something tells me that there's a double meaning in there. How did it go? It was just, oh, Jesus Christ. And then he was like, I cried, and then something, American. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm bombing right now. I forgot. This is
Bye,
just
this American
professionals. Yeah.
No, you're not bombing. You're not bombing.
You're doing fine.
I've been bombing.
No, dude, that's
I mean, I
like
can
my
tell
uncle
the
said when
difference.
he was
At
in
least-
Vietnam, he was just like laying napalm, and I was like, dude, I can feel the exact same way. I've done that in comedy. And he was like, I've seen people blow up in flames. What are you talking about?
They're exactly the same.
They're exactly the same. I get
Burning
you.
a hooch from 20,000 feet and telling it. They're like
It's
this
just
and this.
emotionally scarring.
They're 1 and 1A in bad experiences.
You're on a show with 3 people who've opened up for Don McLean. So
Oh,
Kidding me?
And when I say opened up,
Yeah. My grandson delivered him.
settle down, Vincent.
Anyway,
I'll
Cesar,
tell the joke later. Next one.
okay, I tell you what, come back, open with that joke, take a piece of paper, write down the line you're trying to get. Nobody
Okay.
cares. It's a Zoom show, for Christ's sake. We're just a bunch of... do you want to go longer? Are you good?
I'm good. Someone can I go next?
Yeah, we've stolen a lot of your time. We're welcome to give some back.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah. I had that same conversation with God just the other day.
we're gonna take you to
Taking so much of my time.
we're gonna take you to the Jesus Christ. I was gonna make a one-line joke there, and then some way my voice was like, no, I'm just gonna shut you up. And I was like, dude, I really need that.
That's the goal. That's the
Just
goal
trust
right
me.
there, Cesar.
He's rocking.
What about what your mouth is doing?
You're on the right path.
I love
That's
this
for
guy
sure.
so much. I just met him. I love this guy so much. He knows what he's doing.
Just
I love
like my
that. Even
dad.
when he doesn't know what he's doing, he knows what he's doing. I love that.
All hail Cesar.
Yes.
That's a reference back to your childhood.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah. I come to praise Cesar, not to bury him. Am I right?
I'm 16.
Oh, great.
No way. There's
What are
no
you
way
doing
you're
up?
16. Are you
Sorry. Huh?
you shitting me? Are you really 16?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's just when you're in quarantine, you forgot to shave and you eventually be like, okay, another week passed. Good. Second week, I think I should consider getting that razor out. Third week, you're like, I think I'm like one of the homeless man in front of my house, you know?
You're 16?
Yeah.
Can you show me how my phone works? I don't get it. It's just
The
a
last
thing.
three, the last 3 comics he asked that question to are missing now. So
I know where they are.
Hey, man.
Cesar, you did great.
the rest of us that don't. But anyway,
That's the
great
problem.
job. Great job. I want you back here. I want you to tell that joke. I want to find out about Don McLean because I hate his guts.
Dude, me too, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Yeah.
job.
A long, long time ago, Canadian came and told us about our country. I said, fuck you, Don McLean. Go back where you came from. I could do the whole 7 minutes, but I'm not going to. Why? Because Jessica Misra is up. And Jessica, I love Jessica, not in a creepy way. As a comedian, as a respectful member of the comedy community, please welcome the only comedian that's going to perform in a shawl tonight. Since
A
Minnie
shawl.
Fowler died, that's been her thing. So give her a big round of applause. Come on, Jessica.
Yeah.
Okay, we are knocking the shawl, but it is amazing. Having your shoulders warm, like I get why old women and FDR later in his presidency did it. Like it is nice. This is amazing. Something I want to highlight that I felt like didn't get enough attention was when Denise talked about how licking the tummy. I feel like that's the most sexually explicit term I've ever heard. It was so gross. I'm so disgusted by the thought of anyone licking a tummy. It made me want to die. I was like, just eat her out. Anyway, I just got done. The reason I'm wearing this shawl is because my apartment pays for heat, so that means they don't turn on the heat. Yeah, I feel like I'm living with a stingy dad. I'm like, can you turn up the heat? And they're like, put on more layers. I watched that Bulls documentary. Michael Jordan, the Bulls. Like it was really great. I feel like Michael Jordan might be the only man that knows what it's like to be a pregnant woman. Because after it's over, a man puts his arm around him and he goes, "Wow, we did it." I think it's beautiful here. And you know what? Michael's like, I feel like I carried the team. I did most of it. Honestly, after a game, people touch Michael Jordan's bald head like he's a pregnant woman waiting for the bus. Just what a miracle. Just want to be a part of this. Let me in on the action. I think it's interesting that a lot of religious people don't want to take the vaccine. They don't want to take the vaccine because they don't know what's in it, but they also pray to a God they've never met. And it's like, no one has more faith than you do.
Yeah.
Now, like, you should go into the vaccine that I'm uncomfortable with it. Like, you guys should be on campus college corners preaching about the vaccine, yelling at teenagers for no reason. Just like, you are going to help your community by getting the vaccine, both doses. Don't skip it. Here's what I can't understand. How come whenever a kid gets autism, it's God's plan, but when he gets it from the vaccine, suddenly it's a problem? Yeah, this just became a lecture, all right? I'm preaching.
Oh my God. Wow.
I think we're saying it wrong. I think we're saying it wrong to them. We got to speak their language. And when they ask about the vaccine, all you got to say is the vaccine works in mysterious ways.
Oh shit.
No one can know how it works, and we shouldn't ask again. You know what? I think this is what I think the problem is. I think science just doesn't make sense sometimes. Because well, you know what? We learned that breast milk is really healthy and like really good for kids, and it makes them smarter. But I've never seen a kid that breastfed past 2 years old win a Nobel Prize. You know? They're always like trying to fuck their mom. It's like, what's up with that? I of course have period material, so strap in, men.
They didn't use those anymore.
Here's the deal. So I feel like it's kind of criminal that after a girl gets her period, we give her white sheets. That's fucked up, all right? After she gets it, we should give her red pants and black sheets just for a few years so she figures it out. You know? I think that's why people think women are so good at laundry, right? Because all the time they see us doing it. You know, it's like, oh, laundry again. You're like, yep, don't look in the bundle. It kind of smells weird. So here's what happened. Here's how that came about. All right, the founding father was just like writing the Constitution, and his daughter came about at midnight, and he was like, what are you doing up? And she was like, and she panicked. She goes, nothing, laundry. Women are crazy. And he was like, all right, I'll put it in the document, but here's the thing. I didn't get my period till really late because I was super jacked. And I think that's a really dope way to get it. That's super manly. You know? Like if my period was a man, it would like provide for its family in a stoic fashion. Come home and slide my school books across the table and then go to the backyard to chop lumber. No eye contact, no words, just pure love. Okay, I'm gonna end on this. So Trump is not going to Biden's inauguration. You know, I feel like Trump not going to Biden's inauguration is kind of like your ex-boyfriend threatening to not go to your wedding. It's like good. It's like you'd probably interrupt the ceremony and make it weird anyway, so don't come. Great guys, that's my time. Thank you.
Jessica Misra. See that thing you put in the private chat, Ned? You were wrong. She's funny as hell.
No.
You know, now I'm just out. Now I feel stupid. Anyway, Jessica, great job. Jessica always has a bunch of new material when she comes on the mic, and I love that. She's writing all the time, and that's what everybody should be doing. I mean, not everybody. I mean, a lot of people don't do comedy at all, but I mean, you know, within the community, you know,
Hey.
It was so.
You know what I meant. Y'all know what I meant. You just let me hanging out there. All right, sorry. Again, I got a little hostile. I apologize. There's no way to introduce our next performer, who's relatively new to the mic. A good guy. Please welcome Manuel Ochoa-Parra.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's the toughest name to pronounce. So I gave you props for that, being Anglo-American and all. So that's a short thing for you. But yeah, so far it's been a good night. I missed last week. We had a close COVID scare. It was one of my friends, one of my wife's friends. It's amazing how when you have those close calls, you could just put whore in front of her name and get away with it. So you're less like, oh, that whore Kelly. And it goes with everything. You're like, that whore Kelly almost cost us our life. Oh, that whore Kelly. And then you realize you don't actually have COVID. So you have to turn it down to that morally casual Kelly instead of that whore. So yeah, that was a pretty scary event. I also got a new job working retail. That's why I have designer here, because I'm not allowed to actually say their name or I can get fired. A lot of people are like, that's pretty scary. I mean, you're dealing with the public, COVID. And I'm like, well, I get a good fucking discount, so it's worth it. So at least when I die, I'm going to look good. And it's weird because like right when I put the cashmere sweater on, I'm like, I wonder what the poor people are doing right now. So, yeah, horrible stuff. I'm going to hell. But so far it's been a good night. I heard a couple period jokes, a couple circumcision jokes, period sex jokes, tons of vibrator jokes. Yeah, we're going to have to worry about reading this room and any jokes that I have for going further. Yeah, it's pretty open. So speaking of vibrator jokes,
how dare you?
You had that conversation with, the wife. Everyone's like, does your wife have a vibrator? And you're like, yeah, I don't care. Like, it's fine. There's a couple ground rules you got to lay down first. You can't just give her unlimited choices in the vibrator. You got to be like, all right, the vibrator can't be bigger than mine. And you're like, she's like, all right, fine. But then you see it and you're like, wait a minute. My dick doesn't spin around doing 180 degrees at 90 RPMs with wrapping around pearls. But that shit's impossible. So, and what is that, an 8-track player attached to that thing? It's insane. It's so unfair because we can't get away with that. We can't be like male vibrators. We just have to use good old Pamela. That's what we get. And it's true. Like, I've seen some really cool shit coming out though. It's like a box that you put on top of your penis, plug it into your computer, and it does some cool shit. I don't know. It's really expensive, but I'm saving up for Christmas. So I'm really excited. Yeah, hopefully my wife will throw in on that one as well.
And nothing says the birth of our Lord like a vibrator.
Yes, of course. And I'm so glad that's over with because Christmas, I just had my 43rd birthday the day after Christmas. And I fucking hate God because of it. He ruined it all for me. Like, that's been the worst birthday of my whole life. Why aren't you close to God? I'm like, well, he ruined my life. Ruined my fucking birthday. I'm not allowed to masturbate according to him. There's all these other fucking ground rules. I mean, trust me, if that great man was born that close to your birthday, you're done. So I married a Jew to hopefully get like a Hanukkah out of it. You know what I'm saysaying? Balance it out. They took offense to my Hanukkah being the shape of a tiny sombrero, though, which I thought that was cool. Well, yeah.
Somebody's been lying to you about what Hanukkah is, man.
Like, yeah, it's the Festival of Lights. Everyone's like, is that why you don't have Christmas lights up? I'm like, yeah, sure. That's it. That's because we're Jewish. That's right. But yeah, Bachelor jokes. That was one. Evan was on here. Evan, don't be ashamed of that shit. I'm proud of The Bachelor.
I'm very proud as well.
Yeah, damn right. I worked construction before. On Tuesday, I'm like, so safety-wise, watch out for these pinch points. Wear your safety glasses. Did anyone catch The Bachelor last night? And the guys are like, yeah, I did. And the other guys are like, you're gay. And we're like, no, we're sleeping with women, so we have no choice but to watch The Bachelor. We're gonna throw in on this and have an opinion on why we don't like that skanky bitch over there. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, everyone's like, did you see that on TV? You're like, yes, it's fucking COVID. I've seen everything on fucking TV, including like the lesbian love stories and dumb show nudity. You're like, oh, it's amazing. In the middle of the night, you're 3 o'clock in the morning crying over Thelma and Louise making out. You're like, it was beautiful. You know that shit's not true either. They have just as much shit going on as any relationship. No one's that happy. I don't believe it. Yeah, I've also been watching a lot of like women empowerment. Like there's so many mainstream like women empowerment movies going on now. Like women can do what 6 guys can't do. And then the next day at fucking work, I hear like 9 women saying, can you do me a favor? Can you grab that box from the top shelf? I'm like, no, it's fucking over with. Equal rights, equal pay. I don't call you when I need something from the bottom shelf. That's the way it works. Like, it's not, I'm never getting this favor back. This is just you using my back. And it rotates. You think it's different generation? It could be the old one. No, the young one asks the same shit. Can you still get that off? Can you carry this box for me? I'm like, nope, absolutely not. Equal pay, equal rights. And I'm going to end on that.
Yeah.
Just a little pro tip for you, Manuel.
Yeah, what's up?
Don't end with material that's guaranteed to alienate 50% of your audience.
By that, he means the men.
I kid, Manuel.
No, it's fine. That's fine. I'll save my female circumcision jokes for later then. All right.
There's a joke you got to read the crowd for, Manuel. That's a joke you got to read the crowd for. That's all I'm saying. Now I just should joke. See, now I'm about to alienate everybody because I feel compelled to do this before I bring the headliner on. Not just alienate people, but this particular bit. This is like, I always thought this was hilarious, and it was real hit or miss with crowds. It was like I never got the appeal of The Bachelor because it's like, you spend 13 weeks acting like a cunt, and then you marry one. So I never really got. Sometimes I would get a laugh, and a lot of times I wouldn't get a laugh. I don't know. So I just decided to try and be a humane individual, and I dropped it from my act. But I'm sharing it with you because I think I've come to trust you in ways that I haven't usually trusted my open mic audiences.
Out of material.
Our headliner is about to come onto the show. By the way, for this show, we call the last act of the night the headliner. He's not really a headliner. He's just the last guy that's on. And it's going to be great because as soon as he's over, we're all going over to Glenn's house because Taylor Swift's new joint just dropped. And we're going to listen to that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he comments really loudly about how much he thinks your body is attractive. All right, anyway,
Thanks.
please welcome, if you will, his good friend and mine, Ned Rice.
Hey. Let's hear it for Mike Langworthy. What a show.
Oh,
Come on, let's hear it.
What a show I undermined tonight, huh?
Settle down. Mike's going to lose his mind. So I hope everyone's having a good New Year so far. I'm sticking to my New Year's resolutions. This year I decided to start smoking, and it's not easy, but I'm sticking with it. It's disgusting, but I'm no quitter. So wish me luck. Kind of a weird week in Washington. You remember when we thought it was crazy for Kanye to run for president? Does that seem a little less crazy now? Anybody? To me, it seems like plausible. I don't know. And I guess the guy who stole Nancy Pelosi's lectern was arrested in Florida. So I guess the Nancy Pelosi's actual lectern I bought on Craigslist is a fake. Is that what we're saying? Goodbye, $6. Goodbye. I don't know. Wow, what a time. You know, I don't have any kids, but I was thinking today, if I had twin daughters, I would name them Alexa and Siri and just watch the fun. You talk about a fast lane to mental illness. That's what that is. Man, but you have to be careful when you're naming daughters. You don't want to name your daughter Penny because she might grow up to be a Marxist. And that would just be too ironic because Penny, you know, that would be a name. Same with Bill. If you name your son Bill and he turns out to be a Marxist, yeah, you're named after a financial instrument. That's your name. So that's, again, it's not a good, you know. Speaking of which, why did the Czech people embrace Marxism? They're Czechs. They're literally Czechs. Like, what the fuck?
Well, they bounced around a lot of politics first.
What? Is that, are you helping me now, Mike? Is that what you're doing?
God, I hope not.
By the same token, do not name your daughter Candy. She might grow up to have an eating disorder. And then that's not, hey, Candy, how's the diet going, Candy? Like, that's not good. Her name would actually trigger her. Don't do that to a child. But if I had 3 daughters, because I'm such a foodie, if I had 3 daughters, I would name them all after spices. Like, I would name them ginger, rosemary, and I don't know, smoked paprika probably would be the 3 names for my little girls, you know. There's COVID-19 news this week. There's a new new mutant strain of the COVID-19. They're calling it the super virus. And I called a friend of mine in LA. He's telling me about it. He goes, yeah, we have the new COVID-19, the super virus, not that old one that you people are still dealing with in Nowhereville. Yeah, the new virus is it's bigger, it's faster, it has more features. Like, now it's that I have a new iPhone conversation. I'm like, should I upgrade? How much more a month is this going to cost me? Does the new COVID have a better camera? You fuck, you know, that's what we're doing now. We're bragging, but the good news is Hollywood is taking on COVID. I just heard today, hookers on Hollywood Boulevard are offering hand sanitizer jobs, and I think that's a wonderful new development. You see, a hand job is an act of sex. But if you put the word sanitizer in the middle,
are you helping me now?
It's not funny. But if we all pull together, that's the
Hello.
key. You know, I do a lot of volunteer work. Like our previous guest, I'm also in recovery. I do a lot of volunteer work with the less fortunate because to me, it's the most noble and selfless and really saintly tax dodge I've ever come up with. You could write off everything if you do that bullshit. And I was talking to somebody today. For example, today I did a benefit show for the hearing impaired. It was a silent auction. And, you know, it's because I'm about giving back. Nothing. Okay, deaf ears. That's good. I like the silence. That's ironic. That's good. But I was talking to a group of people in recovery, and we were talking about a mutual friend of ours we haven't seen lately. And they said, you know, I think he's in prison up north. And one of the other people in the crowd said, you know, that's my favorite prison. And I thought, you know, if you actually have a favorite prison, life has not been kind to you and you've made some bad choices along the way. That's what I think. And then someone else in the group was telling me, you know, she used to support her habit by being a shoplifter and she would steal things and sell them. And she said, and then about last year, they passed this new law in Michigan that said, if you shoplift anything that's worth over $30, you're going to jail. That's the new law. So she stole this object. It was worth more than $30. And they said, you're going to jail. And she said, wait, I have a coupon. So she saved, you see.
No, let me see if I can help here, Ned.
Even in her drug-addled state, she was still a smart shopper. That's what I'm saying. Folks, let me explain to you how this works. I can't remember. I think with that, I'm going to leave you with that thought, and because really, that's all I have. And on this, the last night of my showbiz career, I want to thank, first of all, Mike Langworthy for ruining the show, And Chuck, nice job. I
My
don't know what you
pleasure.
do, Chuck, but good work. And to all my fellow open micers, it's been special. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Yeah.
Ned Rice,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Ned Rice.
That was weird.
Mike, I have 3 bits before we close.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
If
I'd
that-
love to hear them.
Really? I appreciate that. First, I want to just tell you, Mike, good job hosting. And you're right. I am like a hemorrhoid, white and on the edge of an asshole. Listen, appreciate all the cards everybody sent. It's nice of you. Those of you who don't know, I went to the doctor and was diagnosed with scoliosis. I believe the doctor was grading on a curve. Let's not dwell on our pasture, everybody, for it is where the herd lies. That one you need LIES. I guess that was a better tweet than joke, but thanks for clearly not laughing at it, so I could just silently come to that conclusion all on my own.
Needs to work.
You're right. This has been a challenging week, everybody. I gotta admit, in my lifetime, I have never given this much thought to insurrection. Usually I'm thinking about inserting erection. See, somebody got that before I even got there. That joke is like good sex. You know, it requires an audience to finish it. Look, I want to try and get us a message of unity, everybody, because united we stand, but a little further away from me because I've gotten fat during this COVID thing. If you're mad, like friends of mine, I went on some tirades this week on the Facebook, and you're right. Forgive me, dear God, because my mouth is like my sex life. It fails more than it succeeds. Mike, why did the insurrectionists cross the road?
Oh.
I don't know.
Because Trump told them to. Okay. That's it. Just the last, it's not even a joke, but just one more thing that Mike is right about. You're right, Mike, that sunset was like my last relationship, bright and shiny and over before the evening started.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Maybe not a closing for another set, but it's the one I'm closing with tonight.
I'll have a drink.
I think people took it as sage wisdom, Chuck. That's probably why they responded the way they did.
Right. That's my nickname on Grindr. Every
you
week,
know what?
Mike. I do that joke every week. You say something, and I go, "That's my nickname on Grindr." I think I'm on 7 weeks in a row.
I remember that from every week. It's 8 weeks and counting.
Yeah.
And God damn it, I love you for that. You're going to do that joke till you get a laugh with it.
That's my plan. That's my plan.
That is the plan. So if those of you who plan on being here next week, you know how it's going to end. I want you to know 3 things before we get off. And I'm going to do these things quickly because I want you to know them. And I don't want to take a lot of time doing it. I co-write every year a full-length musical show that is performed by a group called Magic Moments, which is a special needs inclusive theater company. And all the songs in it are ASCAP and BMI licensed songs. So the melodies are sure to be at least very popular. Most of them are actually great songs. Even the ones I don't like, I know are really popular, but most of them are great songs. And we changed the lyrics, repurposed them so that they fit with the show. There's a plot. I'm one of the writers on the show, and my daughter performs in the show every year. That's the reason we live in Denver. We also support Chuck and I through our 2 shows. Elevating Connections, which is a charity that helps foster children who've been separated by the foster care system from their siblings to reconnect with each other. And it's an amazing thing. And we've been able to raise, I guess,
1,700 last year just on ticket sales and private events. So
a portion of every ticket sold to. The third thing I want to mention,
if I can pipe in before you folks donate based on catching, hearing stuff like this on the YouTube. So I put links to both of those charities in the description of the video. You just go down, and if you choose, if you're like, wow, I want to donate direct or learn more, just write in the description of the video. And your final thought, Mike? Appreciate it. Sorry about the interruption.
I just want to remind, no, so it's perfectly all right. The incredible tandem of Roy and Langworthy also co-host a show at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on Sunday evenings. It's called The Apocalypse, with Lips, Apocalypse.
See what I did there? It was like, it's supposed to be LY, but all right, you get it.
Chuck just can't stop himself, and isn't that a shame? We're there every week. It's an actual showcase show, so there's a smaller number of comedians, and we do some other fun stuff with video and chatting with people. But we have a great time doing it, and we get some pretty good feedback frequently from people who have been on the show, some of whom are on this mic tonight. And I hope that you'll check that out. Tell your friends about this show and that show. Love to see you back. Cesar, really funny, and you handled forgetting that line better than I could have today, much less when I was 16. I never would have talked to anybody when I was 16. I was just standing in a corner.
I see.
Feeling resentful. And Dani, it's great that you came. For everybody who's here tonight, I'm really thrilled, and a couple of people have gotten off. What I meant to say is a couple of people have left the meeting. And perhaps a couple of people have gotten off as well. I don't know. I don't pry into what's happening out of frame. So Bruce, Manuel, Evan, Cesar, Ed Smythe, who played Bronco Brad today, to a turn. Denise Winkelman, Jessica Misra, Glenn Williams, Glenn Williams, Chuck Roy, of course, and Christine Olivas, who had to leave. And she had to leave us. She had to leave us because her name is Christina Olivas.
Whoa.
Wow. She was actually named by Chuck. That's her stage name. It was originally Bad Pun. Right. Christine Bad Pun changed her name to Christina Olivas at Chuck's request. Anyway.
So you're saying you did get tonight's script?
Pardon me?
Saying you did get tonight's script with all my horrible jokes.
But be that as it may.
Did we thank Jessica Misra?
YouTube people, thanks for watching. These shows will be archived, so if you want to go back and look at stuff from this show or some of the other shows, go to Colorado Comedy Shows YouTube page and watch them there. Especially Dani and Cesar, I'm glad you were here, and I hope you can come back.
Please do.
Yeah.
Sure, everybody. How about it for Mike Langworthy?